Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Presenting from various parts of the world. On behalf of World Resources Webinar, you all. And now I will hand over the dais to from Germany. To you.
Okay, you're breaking up, Dr. Krishnan, but I will begin. So we'd like to welcome you to this World Resources webinar on digital forensics. In keeping with the digital transformation fueled by Industry 4.0, we have a lineup of experts in this field, and we hope that you will benefit from what they have to share. Our first presenter is Dr. Said. He is an assistant professor at the University of Hyderabad. He has years of experience working in the field as a project officer and lead engineer on a development team to include SIGNET, an integrated network management system. He's a member of the review committee for IEEE, and he is noted for his specialization in computer and telecommunication systems. I now present to you Dr. Saif to make his presentation. Over to you, Dr. Saif.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Dr. Debra, for the introduction, and also Dr. Krishnan for giving me this opportunity. I am sharing the slide. Yeah, is my slide visible?
Yes, we can see it very clearly. You may go ahead. You have 25 minutes to present, and when you reach at the last 5 minutes, I'll just put my hand up like this, and I'll show you you have 5, meaning you have 5 more minutes, and then I would come in at the end and let you know that you have to
Thanks.
close off.
Thanks for the information. Sure, I'll follow that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You may go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks again for the introduction. Today I'll be discussing digital forensics, a small presentation on this topic. The outline of this talk is I'll start with the motivation and then go into the concepts of digital forensics and methods of digital forensics, and the two basic components of digital forensics. They are computer forensics and network forensics. And also, I'll be presenting the tools for digital forensics along with process and identification of digital forensics. Yeah, the third slide, I think it is visible. Yeah, it gives a 1 minute activity on the internet. Globally, on the internet, this is what happens. This local IQ website is giving what happens in 1 minute. You can see that just Facebook, 2.1 million. In India, it is 21 lakhs of people are active. And there are so many statistics are given in this screen, in this image. And in fact, the other website, eDiscovery, gives the same thing. Facebook, if you see the trademark of the Facebook, here the different kind of statistics are projected. 11,035 fake accounts are removed in 1 minute, in every minute. So this is what happening over the internet every minute. So we can see how much of data transmission happens over the internet every minute. So 66,000 of videos and photos are shared on Instagram every minute. 510,000 comments are posted on Facebook every minute. 5.7 million searches happen on Google every minute. Every minute, you can just imagine how much of activity goes on internet. So because of that, there are attacks and bad things. One case is blackmailing. I will not go into the full detail because there are so many blackmailings happening, and the fake profiles are created. We just have seen on the statistics that every minute 11,000 fake accounts are removed from the Facebook. So that is what the status. The intellectual property theft happens so many. In fact, this is sorry. Sorry. Pardon me. Is there anything that I need to?
Keep going, Doctor. There's some other disturbance. No issues.
Okay, yeah. So the slide number 11, you are able to see that this is the ransomware attack happened on the hospitals of UK. So this ransomware attack is dangerous and it is growing day by day. So these kind of attacks are happening. A lot of attacks have been reported publicly on this link. So this is what the status of internet. That is why the importance of forensics. Forensics in general means the public discussion which refers to the presentation of evidence in a court of law. So this forensics play a key role in judiciary system, which we know already. And the forensics, criminal forensics, digital forensics, computer forensics. There are many. Computer forensics is a component of digital forensics, and the focus of this talk is about the digital forensics. So what is digital forensics? Digital forensics is applying the computer science. So that is application of investigative techniques to identify, collect, preserve, analyze, and present digital evidence in a legally admissible manner. So, but we say digital evidence. What is digital evidence? Digital evidence is collection and examination of all forms of digital data, including the data found in cell phones, iPods, iPads, digital assistants, and other electronic devices, including computers, laptops, desktops, any electronic device. So it must be in human readable format or capable of being interpreted by a person with expertise in the subject. So that is what the digital evidence. And this digital forensics encompasses laptops, desktop computers, mobile devices, networks, cloud systems. These are all electronic devices. It also includes the analysis of text, image, video, and audio, all types of data in both analog and digital format. So uses of digital forensics is in the criminal investigations, civil litigation, for intelligence, in administrative matters, and for the employment disputes. There are multiple employment disputes. So cyber crimes, no need to talk about because we have been facing these attacks every day. If not in our place, in multiple places. Hacking, identity theft, DOS, DDoS attacks, child pornography, data theft, spreading virus, worm, phishing, disruption of computer and network, and cyber terrorism. There are many cyber crimes, and this slide is giving some of them, not exhaustive list. So I will be focusing on the two basic components of digital forensics, that is computer forensics and network forensics. Computer forensics, it is a subset of digital forensics only. This deals with the preservation, identification, extraction, and documentation of computer evidence. Here, computer means computer can be laptop or server or any kind of host or a device. So it can be used in detection and prevention of crime and in any dispute where evidence is stored digitally. So I'll be touching upon these topics of computer forensics, stage of computer forensics process, uses of computer forensics, objective of computer forensics, role of forensics investigator, what is forensics readiness, goal of forensic readiness, benefits of forensic readiness, steps for forensic readiness and its planning. So stages of computer forensics process are acquire, analyze, evaluate, and present. The acquiring is identification and preserving. Analyzing, that is technical analysis of the data, computer forensics data, that is the digital evidence. Evaluate like a lawyer, what the lawyers do. And finally, it needs to be present digital evidence in a manner that is legally acceptable in any legal proceedings. So these are the stages. And the computer forensics, like the digital forensics, these are for the intellectual property theft, industrial espionage, that is spying, employment disputes, fraud investigations, forgeries, bankruptcy investigations, inappropriate email and internet use in the workplace, regulatory compliance. So these are some of the uses, not the exhaustive list. So what are the objectives of computer forensics? They are following the first respondent procedure and access the victim's computer after incident, designing procedures at a suspected crime scene to ensure that the digital evidence obtained is not corrupted, data acquisition, not only the one kind of data, I mean, from the memory or from the RAM or hard disk or from the other devices, and it has to be copied, that is duplication. Recovering deleted files and deleted partitions from the digital media, not only just whatever is available, whatever is deleted also needs to be recovered. So roles of forensic investigator, there are many here. I have given few. Confirms and dispels whether a resource or network is compromised. Resource here, whether it is a computer or the any electronic device. Determine extent of damage due to intrusion. Answer the questions like who, what, when, where, how, and why. Gathering data in a forensically sound manner. Handle and analyze evidence. Prepare the report. Present admissible evidence in court. So for that, first thing is forensic readiness. Forensic readiness is the ability of an organization to maximize its potential to use digital evidence while minimizing the cost of an investigation. So if there is an crime, that time we need to investigate, that time we need to collect the data. If it is already forensically readied, that means we can minimally collect the data with the minimum cost. So what are the goals of forensic readiness? To gather admissible evidence legally and without interfering with business process. So basically, it should not disrupt the business process. At the same time, we need to collect all the required data. So to gather evidence targeting the potential crimes and disputes that may adversely impact the an organization. to allow an investigation to proceed at a cost in proportion to the incident. So forensic readiness, I mean, we can easily imagine it has a lot of benefits. Evidence can be gathered to act in an organization's defense if subject to lawsuit. We have the evidence. If it is already, we have the readiness. Comprehensive evidence gathering can be used as a deterrent to the insider threat. In the event of major incident, an efficient and rapid investigation can be conducted and the actions taken with minimal disruptions to the business. So a systematic approach to evidence storage can significantly reduce the cost and time of internal investigation. So, I mean, in fact, we can imagine there are so many benefits for the forensic readiness. So important steps for this forensic readiness planning are: define the business scenarios that require digital evidence. Identify available sources and different types of potential evidence. Determine the evidence collection requirement. Establish a capability for securely gathering legally admissible evidence to meet the requirement. Establish a policy for secure storage and handling of potential evidence. So these are some of the steps. And in the computer forensics, computer investigation is an important step. So this step, this computer investigation has 4 major stages. Sorry. So each major step: assess, acquire, analyze, report. Each has its own sub-steps. We'll go with a brief introduction. Before going to these steps, first we need to ask the question: should law enforcement be involved? If it is yes, then internal investigation needs to be stopped so that the law enforcement agency can take over. It can provide the assistance. Otherwise, we can continue with the internal investigation. This is an important question to be answered before going with the internal investigation. So the first step of this computer investigation has 5 minor steps or the sub-steps: notifying decision makers and acquire authorization, review applicable policies and laws, identify investigation team members, conduct thorough assessment, prepare for evidence. So notify decision makers means if no written incident response policies and procedures exist, notify decision makers and obtain written authorization from an authorized decision maker to conduct the computer investigation. Like this, there are steps related to the notifying the decision makers to acquire the authorization. So we need to review the policies and laws. So that is self-explanatory. Identifying investigation team members. This is also an important task. Identify a person who understands how to conduct an investigation. Remember, the credibility and skills of the person performing the investigation are often scrutinized if a situation results in legal proceedings in a court of law. So like that, there are steps to identify the investigation team. So conduct a thorough assessment. So remember to evaluate its potential impact on public relations. This assessment will likely be beyond the expertise of IT and should be done in conjunction with management and legal advisors. So assessment requires not only technical, it requires both higher management and the legal advisors also. It has to be analyzed. So prepare for the evidence acquisition. So an initial estimate of the impact of the situation on the organization's business has to be estimated. A detailed network topology diagram that highlights affected computer systems and provides details about how those systems might be affected has to be prepared. So there is a second step, that is acquire the data. Acquiring the data has 3 sub-steps, that is build computer investigation toolkit. Toolkit needs to be built because we need to collect the data. And second step is the collecting data. And third is storing and archiving, because it has to be stored. So building your organization will need a collection of data and software to acquire data during an investigation. So a toolkit might contain a laptop computer with appropriate software tools, operating systems, and patches, application media, right, protected backup devices, blank media. So all that a good toolkit needs to be built for the investigation. So preparing organization for a computer investigation, like include a tool for creating bit-to-bit and logical copies, include tools to collect and examine volatile data such as the system state, include tool to generate checksums and digital signatures. If you need to collect physical evidence, include a digital camera in the toolkit. So ensure your toolkit meets the criteria. This is also important. So data acquisition tools are shown to be accurate. The tools do not modify the access time of files.
Saifullah, we are not hearing. Dr. Deborah, can you hear?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear. I'm hearing.
Dr. Deborah, am I audible?
Yes, I'm hearing you, Dr. Said.
Okay, good. Can I continue, Dr. Krishnan?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
You have just about 4 more minutes for your presentation, Dr. Saif, and then we will have
okay.
a question and
Okay,
answer.
good. Thank you. Thank you. Ensure that your toolkits meets the criteria, and collecting data, it needs to be done very carefully because this is an important step. So collection of the data and verifying the data to collect, this has the full details and not fully exhaustive, but important steps are there. And the third major step is analyzing the data. Analyze the network data and analyze the host data, analyze storage media are the important sub-steps of the third major step. And analyzing network data in many, instead the investigations examine images of the data and analyze the host data and storage media, identify files that are likely to be relevant, so which you can then analyze more closely. So the fourth major step, reporting the investigation. It has important sub-steps: gather and organize information and write the report. So the report is critical because whatever the data is collected and analyzed, it has to be reported in a right manner. Purpose of the report, the main subheadings, author of the report, incident summary, the evidence needs to be fully described, and a conclusion needs to be summarized, and supporting documents needs to be provided. So the other important component of the digital forensics is network forensics. The network forensics is again a crucial component in detecting and supporting cyber, in identifying and the digital evidence and collecting the data from the cyber attacks. So the definition is, network forensics is a specialized subset of digital forensics that focuses on the investigation and analysis of network traffic and network-related data to uncover evidence of cyber crimes and security incidents. So, and only the network forensics is also the process of detecting intrusion patterns, focusing on attacker activity. So there are important steps in the network forensics: identification, preservation, collection, examination, analysis, presentation, incident response. And there are challenges in the in doing the network forensics. The first challenge is traffic data sniffing itself is a challenge. Depending on the network configuration, the security measures, whether the sniffer is deployed, the tool may not capture all desired traffic data. So likewise, there are multiple challenges for the network forensics because the traffic itself may be encrypted. And the another additional challenge is determining the source of an attack, since an attacker may use zombie machine. So there are multiple challenges for the network forensics, and the items present in the network traffic, which should be examined, include but are not limited to protocols used, IP addresses, port numbers, timestamps, malicious packets, transferred files, user agents, application server versions, and operating system versions. These important uh, properties needs to be collected from the traffic data. So there is another thing, that is forensics methods, how to apply for the network layers. So first thing is to apply for the data link layer and physical link layer. In the physical link layer, physical and data link layer methods are achieved with eavesdropping bit streams on the Ethernet layer of the OSI model. So it has to be put into the promiscuous mode while collecting the data. So IR can be contacted, and the transport layer here, the devices like the routers and the other network layer devices can be contacted and used to collect the log evidence. And multiple logs recorded from different network devices can be correlated. Correlation is important step, correlated together to reconstruct the attack scenario. And so the traffic examined based on the use cases, that is the application layer. So here, because the internet provides numerous services such as www, email, chat, file transfer, etc., which makes it rich with digital evidence. So because the servers can be contacted, servers include web servers, email servers, and other types of traffic and communication. Their logs needs to be collected.
Dr.
Similarly,
Said,
wireless.
Dr.
Yeah, I
Said.
mean, I'll stop collection, and then
Yeah, you can
there are
wrap up.
tools. Yeah, I'll stop. So there are multiple tools, and my slides and the PPT has the list of important tools used for the digital forensics. These are some of the important tools. Yeah, there are anti-forensics also, because there are tools which can corrupt the evidence. So these are some of the references. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Said. That was a very highly technical and insightful presentation. I think you have laid the foundation for us for the coming presentations. We'll now have questions or comments from the floor. You may raise your hand or type it in the chat, and the presenter will respond.
I have a question, Dr. Deborah.
Sure, go ahead, Dr. Krishnan.
Dr. Saif, your
Yes.
presentation was very insightful.
Thank you.
You know, it was very technical, and it was very enthusiastic for our listeners to learn a lot from you. Can you give some more light on sniffer tools? What kind of a sniffer or sniffer tools you use?
Yeah, sure. I'll talk about it. Actually, because of the time, I couldn't talk in detail. But the sniffer tools, the important sniffer tools are the TCP dump and the Wireshark. These are very familiar, and these are used for the network protocol analysis and also for the debugging. Basically, the Ethernet provides the broadcast medium, even the wireless also, Wi-Fi's. So these Wi-Fi's, if the network card, NIC card, we say the card, yeah, network information card, NIC, if it is put into a promiscuous mode, all the data can be eavesdropped. That is, whatever goes, that can be copied onto a separate disk wherever we want. so that analysis can happen. So once the full data is there, all the analysis, because it gives the full view of the network data. So whatever happens, starting from the IP addresses or the protocols or the port number, actual data itself. So that requires some technical expertise. So a expert can reconstruct whatever file is transferred or whatever happens in the network.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Dr. Saif.
You are welcome.
Okay, we have no more questions. We now ask you, Dr. Saif, to stop sharing, and we'll now invite our second presenter. Would that be Professor Noor Krishnan?
No, Professor Noor is joining us by 7 o'clock of India time. They have in Malaysia, they have some problem with networking. Two of our speakers from Malaysia are facing this problem. So we'll go with Dr. Pankaj.
Okay. All right. So you can stop sharing, Dr. Saif. Thank you very much for sharing
Yeah,
your
sure.
expertise with us.
Yeah. Welcome. I am stopping the slide share.
Dr. Pankaj, you can upload. In the meantime, I'll introduce Dr. Pankaj. He's an associate professor with
Dr. Pankaj, we are unable to hear you.
Yes. Okay.
And Dr. Pankaj has over a decade of experience in a range of areas that include Internet of Things, big data and analytics, cloud computing, information systems security, data mining and warehousing, and the list goes on. So I'm sure. Okay, you may continue.
Now I have taken care. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So today I will discuss about digital forensics, process, techniques, and tools. So this is the outline where I will discuss about the need of digital forensics, overview of digital forensics, types of digital forensics, the phases of digital forensics, then there's some examples, uses of digital forensics, challenges in digital forensics, what are the ongoing research projects and the advantages, disadvantages of digital forensics, and the paths to career in digital forensics. So, what is the need of digital forensics? So first, digital forensics is a branch of forensic science that focus on identifying, acquiring, processing, analyzing, and reporting on data stored electronically. So electronic evidence is a component of almost all criminal activities, and digital forensic support is crucial for law enforcement investigations. So electronic evidence can be collected from a wide array of sources such as computers, smartphones, remote storage, unmanned aerial systems, shipborne equipment, and many more. So cyber activity has become a significant portion of everyday life of general public. Like thus, the scope of crime investigation has also been broadened. So computer and networks have been widely used for enterprise information processing, e-commerce such as business to business, business to consumer, and consumer to consumer has become a new business model. So, for digital forensics, more and more facilities are directly controlled by computers as the society has become more and more dependent on computer and computer networks. So, the computer networks may become targeted of crime activities such as thief, vandalism, espionage, or even cyber. So, finally, we need concept of digital forensics. So, the digital forensics is defined as the process of preservation, identification, extraction, and documentation of computer evidence, which can be used by the court of law. So, it is a science of finding evidence from digital media like computer, mobile phone, server, or network. It provides the forensic teams with the best techniques and tools to solve complicated digital related cases. So digital forensics helps the forensic team to analyze, inspect, identifies and preserve the digital evidence residing on various types of electronic devices. So like the application of computer science and investigate procedures for legal purpose involving the analysis of digital evidence after proper search, authentication of custody, validation, mathematics, use of validated tools, repeatedly reporting, and possible expert execution. So the ISO standard for digital forensics was ratified ISO 27037 Information Technology Security Techniques in October 2012. Then the scientific examination and analysis of digital evidence in such a way that the information can be used as evidence in a court of law. So the types of digital forensics includes the disk forensics or the email forensics, mobile forensics, memory forensics, network forensics, database forensics, malware forensics. So you can see in disk forensics, it deals with extracting data from storage media by searching active, modified, or deleted files. And for email forensics, it deals with recovery and analysis of emails, including deleted files, deleted emails, calendars, and contacts. And the mobile forensics, it mainly deals with the examination and analysis of mobile devices. So it helps to retrieve phone and SIM contacts, call logs, incoming and outgoing SMS, MMS, or audio, videos, etc. Can be used in these mobile forensics. And in memory forensics, it deals with collecting data from system memory like system registers, space, or RAM in raw form, and then carving the data from raw data. And in network forensics, it is sub branch of digital forensics. So it is related to monitoring and analysis of computer network traffic to collect important information and legal evidence. In wireless forensics, it is the division of network forensics, and the main aim of wireless forensics is to offer the tools need to collect and analyze the data from wireless network traffic. And the database forensics is a branch of digital forensics related to the study and examination of databases and their related metadata. And in the malware forensics, this branch deals with the identification of malicious code to study their payload, viruses, and bombs. So I already discussed that digital forensics is deals with the extracting data from social media by searching active and modified or deleted files. Email forensics that deals with recovery and analysis of emails, including deleted email, calendar, contacts like this. Mobile forensics deals with the examination and analysis of mobile devices and helps to retrieve phone and SIM contacts, call logs, incoming, outgoing SMS, audio, videos, etc. In memory forensics, it is deal with collecting data from system memory, system registers, cache, and RAM in raw form, and then carving the data from raw data. Network forensics is it is a branch of digital forensics and related to monitoring and analysis of computer network traffic to collect important information and legal evidence. The wireless forensics, it is the division of network forensics, and the main aim of wireless forensics is to offer the tools need to collect and analyze the data from wireless network traffic. And the database forensics is the branch of digital forensics relating to the study and examination of databases and their related data. And the last one, the malware forensics, it is the branch which deals with the identification of malicious code to study their payload, viruses, worms, and these things. Then the phases of digital forensics. So these are the 5 phases: identification, preservation, analysis, documentation, and presentation. So in identification, it is mainly used to identify the purpose of investigation or identify the resources required. And in preservation phase, the data is isolated, secure, and preserved. These things in this preservation phase. And then the analysis phase, where it identifies the tools and techniques to use, then process data or interpret analysis results. And in documentation phase, the documentation of the cyber scene along with photographing, sketching, and crime scene mapping, these all can be done in this. And in the presentation phase, the process of summarization and explanation of conclusion is done with the help to gather facts. So the identification phase in detail. So this is the first step in forensics process, and it find the evidence and noting where it is stored. So the identification process mainly includes things like what evidence is present and where it is stored, and lastly how it is stored. So electronic storage media can be personal computers, mobile phones, personal digital assistants, or etc. Devices can be used. More difficult that it sounds, like small scale devices, non-traditional storage media, or multiple possible crime scenes. So these are the device identifications where we can use. Another one is preservation. So in preservation, the next phase, it reconstructs or fragments of data and draw conclusions based on the evidence found. So in this phase, the data is isolated, secured, and preserved. So it includes preserving, preventing people from using the digital device so that digital evidence is not tampered. Then another phase is analysis phase, where reconstruct fragments of data and draw conclusions based on the evidence found. So in this step, the investigation agents reconstruct fragments of data and draw conclusions based on evidence found. And however, it might take numerous iterations of examinations to support a specific crime theory. Then the documentation phase in this process, a record of all the visible data must be created. It helps in recreating the crime scene and reviewing it. It involves proper documentation of the crime scene along with photographing, sketching, and crime scene mapping. Then the presentation phase. In this, this is the last step. So the process of summarization and explanation of conclusion is done in this phase. However, it should be written in the layers person terms of using abstract terminology. So all abstract terminology should reference the specific details. So the presentation step is the process of summarization and explanation of conclusion is done. Then example uses of digital forensics. So in recent time, commercial organizations have used digital forensics in following a type of cases. So like intellectual property theft, industrial espionage, employment disputes, fraud investigations, uh, bankruptcy investigations, or the fraud investigations, inappropriate use of the internet and email in the workplace, forgeries, related matters, or issues concerns with the regulatory compliance. So these are the various examples of uses of digital forensics. The challenges in digital forensics, like a microcomputer may have 60 GB or more storage capacity. There are more than 2.2 billion messages expected to be sent and received by day. So this is the challenge. Another challenge, there are more than 3 billion indexed web pages worldwide, or there are more than 550 billion documents online. So exabytes of data, terabytes of data are stored on tab or hard drives. So these are the various challenges in digital forensics. Or another challenge is how to collect the specific probative and case-related information from very large group of files, like link analysis, visualization, enabling techniques for lead discovery from very large groups of files, like text mining, data mining, intelligent information retrieval. Then computer forensics must also adapt quickly to new products and innovations with valid and reliable examination and analysis techniques. So these are the various challenges. Now come to the research projects. So search engine techniques for searching web pages which contain illegal contents. This is the research project related to this digital forensics. And another one is malicious program feature extraction and detection using data mining techniques. This is another project I followed. Then the advantages and disadvantages of digital forensics. So advantages of digital forensics means the digital forensics is used to ensure the integrity of the computer system, or to produce evidence in the code which can lead to the punishment of the calculate, or it helps the companies to capture important information if their computer systems or networks are compromised, or it efficiently tracks down cyber criminals from anywhere in the world. It helps to protect the organization's money and valuable time. Another advantage is to allow to extract, process, and interpret the factual evidence, so it proves the cyber criminal actions in the code. Then the disadvantages of digital forensics includes the digital evidence accepted into code. However, it is must be proved that there is no tampering, or producing electronic records and storing them is an extremely costly affair, or the legal practitioners must have extensive computer knowledge or need to produce or authenticate and convincing evidence, or if the tool used for digital forensics is not according to specific standards, then in the court of law, the evidence can be disapproved by justice, or the lack of technical knowledge by the investigation officer might not offer the desired result. So these are the various disadvantages of digital forensics. The paths to career in digital forensics: many certifications are there in digital forensics, the associate degrees, the bachelor degrees, post-graduation certificates, master degrees, doctorate degrees. So these are the various careers in the digital forensics. The job roles in digital forensics, including the digital forensics technician, digital forensics investigators, digital forensics analysts or examiners, or digital forensics lab director, or digital forensics scientist. So these are the various job roles in digital forensics. So this is all from my side. For this, I can conclude that digital forensics is the preservation or identification, extraction, and documentation of computer evidences which can be used in the court of law. And it is the process of digital forensics includes like the five-step process: identification, preservation, analysis, documentation, and presentation. The different types of digital forensics are digital forensics, network forensics, wireless forensics, database forensics, malware forensics, email forensics, memory forensics. And digital forensic science can be used for cases like intellectual property theft, industrial espionage, employment disputes, and fraud investigation. So this is all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pankaj, for that interesting presentation. You enlightened us on the types of digital forensics, the phases involved, and you also pointed out that it's a very costly affair to have that sort of evidence produced. I think the younger ones who are looking for a career path would certainly benefited from the various careers you showed us, the various career paths you shared with us. I would just like to ask, is it very costly to study or specialize in digital forensics? Dr. Pankaj, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Is it very costly? Does it cost a lot to study digital forensics?
Not so much costly, but it is in budget, ma'am. I think every can this.
Okay, thank you. And the floor is now open for comments or questions for Dr. Pankaj.
So mainly electronic evidence is a component of all criminal activities, and digital forensic support is crucial for law enforcement investigations.
Okay.
Yes, any question?
And this is the workshop chair, Dr. Deborah. Is that field very lucrative? If you should go into studying it, the job opportunities, are they a lot, or it's a highly specialized field? Dr.
Yes.
Pankaj?
Yes, ma'am. So there are many job opportunities. I already discussed that digital forensics openings are there in various like analyst forensics or the junior forensic analyst or the incident.
Okay, Dr. asked, is it easy?
Dr. Krishnan, we are not hearing you clearly. You're breaking up, so we're just getting pieces of what you're saying.
I'm quite complicated to learn digital.
Okay,
Is it
could you
difficult?
type in the chat because your audio is breaking up. You can type the question in the chat, please. Are there any other questions from the audience? Okay. If there are no other questions, we will move to the next presenter. Dr. Dinesh, you can upload your presentation and I will introduce you in the meantime. Dr. Dinesh, are you there? Paging Dr. Dinesh. Dr. Krishnan, are you hearing me? Okay, we're having some technical difficulties with our audio. Dr. Comfort, are you hearing me? All right. Dr. Krishnan, your audio is not clear. We're trying to, if you could type in the chat, we will certainly go with the flow of the presenters.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Dinesh, are you ready, Dr. Dinesh?
Dr. I think
Dr. Dinesh is not responding. Dr. Hadhrami, are you there?
Yeah, just join in.
Okay.
Okay.
Would you be able to present now? I think we're having some technical difficulties with the other presenters. Would you be able to present now?
Okay. How long should I present it? Maybe
okay, so,
30 minutes, is it? Or 20 minutes?
Well, for at least 20 minutes, and then
20 minutes.
20 to 25, yeah. And then
okay,
we'll have a 5-minute question and answer comment afterwards.
Right. Okay.
So
sure.
As you can share your screen, and I'll introduce you in the meantime.
All right.
Dr. Hadhrami is a senior lecturer at the University of Malaysia, Kelantan. He has 20 years of experience in higher education and has provided a wealth of information and insight in the areas of electronics and communications, artificial intelligence, and data science. He has had various exposures to different parts of the world, working in Malacca, Melbourne, and London. I am sure we will benefit from his wealth of experience and international exposure. So I now hand you over to Dr. Hadhrami to make his presentation on multimedia forensics and computer vision. Over to you, Dr. Hadhrami.
Thank you very much, Dr. James, for introducing me. Okay. First of all, actually I've got a mild sore throat, so maybe my voice is not that clear, but hopefully I can try my best to present my slides today. Okay, I think everyone can see my slides now, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you.
We're seeing your title slide.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, so today I'm going to present about multimedia forensics and computer vision. Okay, so these are the two fields in which I'm involved in my research and study. So let's begin with the basic definitions that we need to understand before we go through this topic. The first thing is about multimedia forensics. Okay, what we mean by or what do we what are the things that we're supposed to understand with multimedia forensics? Okay, multimedia forensics includes techniques to retrieve evidence from multimedia signals such as images and videos. Okay, and then forensic algorithms are the algorithms that we use by using the mathematical models and machine learning techniques for camera model identification and manipulation detection. Okay, so there are a few examples of deep learning techniques that we can use for forensic algorithms like CNNs and Siamese networks. Okay, and then another important term that we should understand here is the anti-forensics. So what do we mean by anti-forensics? Okay, anti-forensics are the countermeasures designed to fool forensic algorithms and attackers. Okay, and because of this anti-forensics, the attackers can deliberately falsify the forensic traces. So there are various anti-forensics algorithms out there that have been developed to falsify the camera model and information and fool manipulation tactics. So let's look at some recent studies on these topics. Okay. There are a number of anti-forensic attacks that have been out there done to the multimedia forensic algorithms. Examples like GAN, the very popular deep learning algorithms now, the generative adversarial networks based anti-forensic attacks can remove forensic traces left by AI synthesized content. Okay, these are examples of the anti-forensic attacks. And these GAN-based anti-forensic attacks can successfully fool state-of-the-art detection algorithms in various scenarios. And then there's also another problem caused by these GAN-based anti-forensic attacks, which is the transferability issue. Okay, the transferability issue that we mean here is that when the GAN-based anti-forensic attack is able to be implemented on certain models that have been targeted, these GAN-based anti-forensic attacks can also be transferred to attack or to target another model. Okay, so this is a very serious problem which is related to the anti-forensic GAN-based attacks. Okay, transferability issue. And then the adversarial attacks on computer vision systems and machine learning fields also very important and has drawn a lot of significant attention. Okay. Computer vision algorithms are very vulnerable to the adversarial attacks that add imperceptible noises to images. Okay, so we know that nowadays, using the AI-based algorithms, we can easily generate, especially the GAN-based algorithms, we can easily generate a lot of images, and this can cause, it basically causes the computer vision algorithms vulnerable to this GAN-based attacks. Some attacks might confuse the object detection operation in the computer vision system. Okay, the defense against these attacks, of course, is very important to ensure that the classification that we are doing in the computer vision prediction and any task that we are doing based on the computer vision systems can be done accurately without being falsified by the GAN based, for example, attacks. So let's look at, or let's briefly go through the this basic camera model identification. Okay, so what are the challenges that we are facing in the camera model identification? So one of the challenges here is the effort to verify the origin of digital images. Okay, the efforts that we need to take in order to verify the origin of the digital images. So this is very crucial in the forensic field. Okay, because it can take many contexts like news reporting and legal proceedings. And another challenge here is that the information forensics researchers develop techniques to determine, in order to determine the camera's manufacturer and model. Okay, techniques that we need to use is important to extract the forensic traces from images and to use the machine learning algorithms for camera model identification. Okay, so the traces that we mean here include the JPEG headers, the sensor noise statistics, the color processing traces from the demosizing algorithms. Okay, the algorithms that we use to adjust the color of the image. Okay, this is a very typical in algorithm that we use in image processing. Okay, computational cost control for camera model identification algorithms is essential due to the increased data volume. So in computer vision, definitely we need to have a large size of the data volume, and we need to also have efficient training and testing, okay, in order to handle the large number of images and camera models in this current environment. Okay, so this is how, in brief, how an image processing takes place. Okay, firstly, we have a digital camera which captures a real world scene by converting light into the discrete signals and measuring light intensity. Okay, this is the first step that we do. We have a camera and we capture the picture. Okay, and then the light that passes through an optical color filter array before hitting the sensor, okay, allowing only one color band to be incident on each pixel location. So here is where we need the what we call it, this demosizing algorithm. Okay, in order to convert one color band to the other color band, which is originally incident to each of the pixel location, and then we need to reconstruct. Okay, by using the demosizing algorithm, we need to reconstruct the unobserved color component using the nearby directly captured pixel values. So this is the demosizing algorithm that is typically implemented. Okay, in order to reconstruct the unobserved color component using the nearby directly captured pixel values, and the final image is further refined through the post-processing techniques like white balancing. Okay, so this is a brief explanation of the image processing operation that takes place and where we implement the demosizing algorithm. Okay, so when we try to read it with the forensic field, okay, so the forensic camera model identification typically aims to determine the make and model of the camera used to capture an image by analyzing the demosizing algorithm used in the image processing. So this is one of the aims of the forensic camera model. Okay, it is used to identify what is the original make and model of the camera that is used to analyze the demosizing algorithm in the image processing operation that has taken place. And then typically the camera manufacturers often use proprietary demosizing algorithms impacting the final image quality. So because it typically has its own specific demosizing algorithms used, And then the various forensic algorithms have been developed to extract the features related to the demosizing algorithm for camera model identification. Okay, so we can see a number of papers that have been implemented, and in with regards to this field, like there's one paper here which mentioned about the widely used method that approximates the demosizing filters as linear for each color band and gradient orientation. And so these methods basically reverse the demosizing process by guessing. So it's like a reverse engineering process to guess the CFA pattern to obtain an image composed only of directly captured pixel values. And then the pixel locations are grouped into horizontal, vertical, or smooth regions based on the gradient magnitude differences. Okay, so the unobserved pixel values in a particular color channel are formulated as a linear combination of directly captured pixel values in their local neighborhood. This is part of the demosizing algorithm, right? For determining the unobserved pixel values. And this forms an overdetermined system of linear equations, which is solved using this the method of least squares to obtain the demosizing filter estimates. And then the filter estimates are used as features for a multi-class support vector machine, which is trained to identify the model of the image source camera. Okay, so this method allows forensic experts to determine the camera model by analyzing the specific demosizing characteristics employed by the camera's manufacturer. Okay, so of course there is a trade-off here that has to be faced by the experts in the field. So a trade-off between the complexity and the estimation accuracy. So either you want to increase the accuracy at the expense of increasing the complexity, or you want to reduce the complexity at the expense of reducing the estimation accuracy. Okay, because we know that to obtain to have a better accuracy of obtaining the demosizing filter estimates, it takes very high computational complexity. All right, so there has to be like a trade-off between the two in order for us to get the best estimate, or to get basically to do a balancing act between reducing the complexity as well as increasing the estimation accuracy. Okay, the window-based approach, one of the methods that have been proposed with regards to the trade-off between the complexity and the estimation accuracy is the window-based approach, which has some shortcomings, some problems, as the classification performance depends on the window chosen for estimation, which may be suboptimal and highly variable. Okay, it may have a lower complexity, but then and the performance might be suboptimal, meaning the accuracy might not be that good. And this trade-off between the classification accuracy and computational cost is crucial in determining the efficiency and accuracy of the camera model identification algorithm. Okay, the approach lacks the direct control over the computational cost for each filter estimate, as the number of pixels in each region varies significantly depending on the image content. Okay, so how to improve the estimation accuracy while reducing complexity? So there are a number of methods that we can implement here. Okay, we try our best to estimate, to improve the estimation accuracy, to increase the estimation accuracy, and at the same time trying to reduce the complexity. So one of the methods that we can use, there are a number of methods that can be used here. For example, we can use the first method that has been proposed here is the gradient-based approach. Okay, so by computing the magnitude and angular direction of the gradient of each demosized pixel, the approach focuses on identifying the variations and patterns in the image, which are crucial for camera model identification. Okay, so by using this magnitude and angular direction, by computing the magnitude and angular direction, we can allow the algorithm to use these features to have a better estimation accuracy. Okay, another method that we can use in order to improve the estimation accuracy while reducing the complexity is by using the region-based pixel grouping. Okay, so this method is used by dividing the set of pixels into different gradient regions, okay, based on their angular orientation. And by implementing this division of the set of pixels into different gradient regions, we can reduce the noise. Okay, we can reduce the noise, and at the same time increase the efficiency of the estimation process. And the third method that we can use here to improve the accuracy while reducing the complexity is by using the focus least squares estimation. Okay, so how this method works, it obtains the least squares estimate of the demosizing filter for each gradient region. Okay, instead of looking or considering at all pixels, it just focuses on a number of relevant ones with the largest gradient magnitudes. So by focusing on these regions which have the largest gradient magnitudes, they can slightly improve or reduces the computational complexity and improve the estimation accuracy. And I think the last method here that we can use, okay, in order to improve the estimation accuracy while reducing the complexity is by using the improved filter estimates. Okay, so how this method works is the resulting demosizing filter estimates that are used based on the relevant pixels with significant gradient magnitudes. It basically leads to more accurate and representative features for classification. Okay, so we are just producing the filter estimates based on the relevant pixels with significant gradient magnitudes, quite similar to the previous one. We just focus on the large gradient magnitudes or the significant gradient magnitudes. So by doing this method, okay, we can improve the estimation accuracy and contribute to better camera model identification results. Okay, so those 4 methods that we have mentioned just now are the typical methods that we use in order to improve the estimation accuracy while reducing the computational complexity. Okay, now let's see how we can actually implement the generative adversarial networks or basically how these generative adversarial networks, okay, have been implemented in the anti-forensic attacks. Okay, so because we need to understand how this thing works in order for us to know how to tackle this problem. Okay, the camera model identification is a critical task for for the forensic, multimedia forensics, to determine the origin of the images, to determine the type and model of the camera and so on. And typically, these multimedia forensic techniques depends much on the traces left by the camera model, such as the JPEG headers, the sensor noise statistics, the domicizing strategy. Okay, so basically these traces are the things that the forensics, the multimedia forensics basically are traced by or basically are used by the multimedia forensics in order to determine the sources of the image, the origin of the images, including the camera and so on. So the malicious attackers can implement generative adversarial networks, okay, in order to do this anti-forensic attacks, meaning to falsify the efforts to actually identify the origin of the images in multimedia forensics. Okay, so we need to explore and understand basically how this GAN-based anti-forensic algorithms work, okay, which is countering the state-of-the-art forensic algorithms. So we know that it basically this GAN base is implemented to generate the data that mimics the distribution of training data. We have some known data in the first place, the input data, and then we try to do this GAN in order to mimic the one that we have already put in as the input of the training data. Okay, the GANs consist of a generator and a discriminator train in the computation. I think we know these things which has been widely explained about the GAN. Okay, we have this computing fashion between the one that we want to generate and the one that we want to generate against. Okay, and the use of GANs raises questions about the generating forensically realistic images and the potential for anti-forensic attacks. Okay, because it has been proposed to anti-forensically hide traces left by the median filtering, showcasing its potential for anti-forensic purposes. Okay, so we can explore whether the new anti-forensic GANs can be developed to attack other forensic tasks, okay, such as camera model identification. Okay, so by studying this anti-forensics using this GAN, we can basically have to understand the weaknesses in the current existing forensic detectors. Okay, the use of deep learning techniques like GANs will introduce, of course, further challenges in and possibilities for both forensic and anti-forensic. We can actually use this GAN for both forensic and anti-forensic, but because it can be used for both, we need to understand how it is implemented, especially for the anti-forensic as well. Okay, in order for us to understand how we can counter the anti-forensic attacks implemented by using the GAN. Okay, so in summary, the approach that we have gone through so far, and then the proposed methods in order to reduce the complexity while improving the estimation accuracy. Basically, it uses some of the methods that we have mentioned, like the gradient-based features, the region-based grouping, okay, focus estimation, okay, to reduce the complexity while focusing on the largest gradient magnitudes in the image, in order for us to do the forensic, okay, in order to detect the origin of the image, okay. And then, so by using these methods that have been discussed just now, the gradient-based, region-based, and the focus estimation, we can actually improve a bit in terms of the accuracy and reducing the complexity. And then this optimization also allows for more efficient and accurate camera model identification in computer vision tasks. Okay, I think that's all from me on this short presentation about multimedia forensics and anti-forensic attacks based on GAN. Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Dr. Hadhrami. Yes, it was brief, but very visual and insightful. You certainly have enlightened us on the anti-forensic attacks that can happen and the defenses we can take to secure our computer systems. It is a highly technical field, that multimedia forensics. Could you tell us what kind of training you've been through in qualifying to do it in your field currently, and possibly if you can share with us how your field, which is very visual, has helped to corner some of those crimes and get persons convicted for their crimes.
Okay, thank you for the question. Actually, I have interest in both fields, in computer vision and as well as security. I can describe myself as still a beginner in this field, multimedia forensics. But
Okay.
because it interests me so much, because I have been doing research a lot on the computer vision, and then I'm now, because my background is actually I'm a network engineer, okay, by profession, before I ventured into this academic field. So and then I started to learn about more on the security, so I tried to find like the melting point between the two. So I can see that now, probably because of the popularity of the GAN field at the moment, I can see that there are some efforts that have been done by the hackers and attackers in using these generative adversarial networks in performing the anti-forensic attacks. So it is a new challenge to the multimedia forensic. And of course, I think what I have presented today is more on the fundamental parts. Okay, but then because the field of deep learning, especially based on this, the current GAN, it has been widely expanding and including in this field as well. So I think we need to put some effort lah. So to me, I'm not. I can still consider myself as a beginner in this field lah. I cannot. So what can I say at the moment is that it's an interesting field, and it's very important because you can see the potential of GAN, not only in terms of anti-forensic, but it's also very useful for the forensic, multimedia forensic itself. I mean, we can use for both sides, depend on how you want to use it. So hopefully we use it from the right side. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Do we have any other questions or comments for Dr. Hadhrami?
No, Dr. Can we go with Dinesh, please?
We already had Dr. Dinesh, I believe. I think we want to hear from either Dr.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Oh, Dr. Dinesh, you're there.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Are
you ready to present, Dr. Dinesh?
Yeah, I'm ready, ma'am.
Okay, so you can go ahead and upload and share your screen, and I will introduce you in the meantime.
Hope you can view my screen, right?
Yes, we're seeing your screen.
Yeah, thank you.
Dr. Dinesh is an ethical hacker and the CEO and founder of Hackup Technology Limited. He has just under a decade of experience in managing and administrating in the domain of cybersecurity and ethical hacking, which includes pen testing, development, training, and recruitment. He provides this service for over 100+ colleges and corporate entities. He holds a membership in the National Cyber Safety and Security Standards Organization, and he has his expertise includes data leakage, security, and end-to-end point protection. He also holds patents for AI-based firewall security and pen testing and reverse engineering tools. He offers also services in information security. I now hand you over to Dr. Dinesh, our ethical hacker.
So thank you for your great introduction, ma'am. Thank you. Am I audible, and hope you can view my screen, right?
Correct.
Thank you. Like very good afternoon, good evening to everyone. So today, like my topic is about cyber forensic, and as they gave an introduction, and we closely deal with the cybercrime, and we are just working for them for resolving some cases which is happening in India, that too in Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore. So I just explained you like most of the content, like the previous session, I just you have given like have some clear idea about what is about a cyber forensic and the introduction. So I don't need to waste much of your time like in the introduction part. So here the introduction, probably every one of you, like right now we are using a mobile phone. And from the schooling, they started using a mobile phone. Probably after 10 years or after 5 years, probably the crime will be the huge, and there will be a cyber crime. Most of the crime will be the cyber crime. And that time we have to know, at least each and every one of you, we have to know how to safeguard ourselves. There is actually a cyber safety and cyber forensic that as a professional level. And right now, department like police department and forensic department, they are dealing with the forensic cases. And added with that, as we are into the technology, and most of the country we are learning about AI, machine learning. So we can implement like most of the research they are doing with the cyber forensic added with AI and data science. They are including all the things in either for fingerprint analysis and for image analysis. So they are including this the techniques in cyber forensic. So today just I'm going to explain some few demo related to cyber forensic, and then it's not about a presentation session. So mostly my presentation will be a mind map, and I'll just go ahead. The introduction part probably most of the members they have explained, and this is a process they used to they call it as a phases. So first they need to identify what exactly the crime happens, and if suppose if they are seizing some mobile or a pen drive or some document, so that is actually a collection, and they need to know how to preserve it and the examination and analysis and presentation. So after presentation, I'll explain you how here the cyber law, how it works, and what is the form they used to maintain when they are collecting and when they are producing that to the court, and how the investigation will go ahead from the scratch to the end. So first, I'll just explain about some of the crime which is happening right now and how the investigation process work. So first, about email crime. So most of the members, they have explained about email crime. Email, there are different types of crime may happen, and they may use VPN, they may not use VPN. And what are the techniques we used to follow when we need to find those cases? So first about email crime, I just explained you with few demo as I mentioned. So for a part of email crime and whatever the content I'm explaining here, it's only for a demo purpose. And here I just open an email, and I'll just search with the email which I have demonstrated for a police department when we were handling there, COMMR. 1 second. Loading, 1 second. Hold on. Hope you can view the Gmail, right? So here I have searched a particular mail. Wait a minute. So it's still loading. So it will take a mail. So here is a mail. Here you can see COMMR. That is actually a commissioner mail, commissioner.coimbatore@tn.gov.in. So this thing happens each and everywhere. Most of the students, they used to get a mail as like from the company, and they used to mention you are selected for this particular company, and you need to enroll with your mail ID, and whatever the details you are producing, it's highly confidential. Likewise, as like a company mail ID, they used to spoof. And what are the possibility where a business person, they'll target a business person, they'll target a student, 17 hours. They may target a common public. So how they can target? First, I'll explain what actually the problem which is happening with the email spoofing and the email crime. And then I'll explain you how we used to investigate. So first about where they are targeting. First about the students. As like they got admission in some university abroad, or they have placement offers from a top MNC company. So likewise, they used to get a mail. And the mail domain will be as like the company name or the college name or the corporate name. So most probably the business person, we have a habit of acknowledging each and every mail. Consider a scenario, you are getting a mail. Like today we have the meeting forensic, the webinar. Consider you are getting a mail as like from the coordinator. mentioning that today the meeting has been rescheduled for next week. Probably what we used to do. So we used to acknowledge that mail. Okay, thank you so much, and we'll proceed with our own the work. So as like the same way, if you are getting a mail from your official person or your the close person mentioning that there is some need and or they may mention to give your credential for something. So you may get a mail like that. So first, whenever you are disclosing some of your personal information, as a public, what we have to do and how we can process and how we can find whether that is a spoof mail or genuine mail, that I'll explain you. So this is actually a mail which is spoofed mail, which I have created for a demo purpose. So commissioner, they won't send a demo mail, right? So here, how we can verify and how we can process whether that mail is a spoof mail or genuine mail. So there are some tools we can use, but as a ground level, I'll just explain you even the layman, they can able to understand, so that I'll just explain you without a tool. So without a tool and with online source. So here, for each and every mail, right hand side, we can able to find a 3 dot. So we can click the 3 dot and there will be option show original. Show original. And in the right bottom, we can able to find one button that is actually a clipboard, copy to clipboard. So I'll just copy this content to clipboard. And I'll just open new tab, email header analysis. So here is a email header analysis. And then I'll just paste. And this is not actually investigation. I'll explain you how the police, they used to investigate. This is actually a thing we need to know before replying or before giving our credential to any mail. So here we can see only the alignment is properly aligned. That is actually as like a commissioner mail or as like a company mail, they used to align. But other than that, there is no authentication, there is no DMKA. So there are some two technical things. So here you can come for a server. So here they have used a server name emkei.cz. That is actually a server they have used to send this particular mail. Whereas we can just see here, the mail is being blacklisted. And that means that is actually a spam mail, or that is a phishing mail, or it's not a genuine mail. And here there is a question. This is actually a server they have used to share the mail. So instead here is a server name. We can able to get a server from the domain. So here I'll just explain you. So here is a tn.gov.in. We can able to identify what is the mail server actually they are using from each and every domain, so that we can able to map with this. So whether that is a genuine or fake. So I'll explain you clearly. So for that, there is an option which is available in command prompt or in terminal. So here, yeah. So here is a terminal, my terminal. Either you can use Windows or Linux or Mac. The command is ns lookup. So ns lookup space hyphen type equal to mx. That is actually a mail exchange server. So each and every domain, they need to have a mail exchange server to send and receive mail. So for validating or for checking the mail server, we can use this command, simple command in command prompt, ns lookup followed by hyphen type equal to mx followed by tn.gov.in, enter. And here I can come to know, like we can able to find mail.tn.gov.in. That is actually a mail server they are using, the verified mail server. So if suppose, if this mail is a genuine mail, probably I used to get this server tn.gov.in, mail.tn.gov.in instead of emkei.cz. That is actually the verification process. The online website, they are doing the same thing. They are just verifying with the genuine server. So what actually they are having, that is a mail.tn.gov.in. But here it comes emkei.cz, so that they can understand they have used only the name, that is commissioner.coimbatore@tn.gov.in. They have taken only the name and they have used a fake server, that is emkei.cz, and then they have sent a mail to some person. Consider, this is actually a scenario, how the police department, they used to investigate. So first thing, they used to get from each and every department, they have a nodal. So here is a Google nodal. So nodal officer India, or you can each and every country, they have a nodal department. And with the help of FIR or CSR, they used to call FIR copy. The police, they have a FIR copy. And from the FIR, they used to share the whole copy to the nodal department. This is actually happened for this mail. And we need a IP address. So like, if this particular mail is not a genuine mail, the police will request from which IP this particular mail has been initiated. So I'll just type here how the process works, so that you can able to understand. So here, from the email, they used to start with IP. So here, from mail to IP. And then from IP, for VoIP cases and for VPN case, I'll explain you how they'll investigate. For normal IP address, so first they'll get the details from the nodal department. They'll get the IP address, and from the IP address, they used to start investigating whether they have used some app to register or which server they have accessed. So that is the next process. So which IP, and then from the IP address, they used to validate the mobile number or the service provider, the ISP, internet service provider. So they'll validate the internet service provider. For example, if I did this crime and if I have shared the mail to some person, they can able to complain. And the Google, they used to provide the IP address to the police department through the nodal, and that is actually a public IP. If they are not using VPN or the VoIP or the proxy, so internet service provider. And from the internet service provider, they used to get the details about the mobile number or service number. So this detail they used to gather. And then from the mobile number or service number, they used to collect CAF. That is actually a customer application form. So when I required some internet facility, either for my mobile number or my office or my home, so I used to get through the service provider. And while I am registering for the internet, I'll provide my some of my details, like my proof, like government proof or some identity. That is actually a CAF number, customer application form. So there they can able to get a PAN number or the passport or the government verified detail they can able to get from CAF number. So which ID they have used. This scenario will work only if they have not used VPN or VoIP. So for VPN or VoIP, I'll explain you. The next scenario is a VPN or VoIP. So this is actually a email header analysis. And for email spoofing, there is a website. And for analysis, there is a website. And for investigation, they used to start with nodal. So nodal department. And next comes to a VoIP. That is actually a voice over IP protocol. So right now, there are more number of crimes which is happening through VoIP. So suppose if I'm having any one of your number, the person who can do the VoIP call, they can access your number and they can use your number as a caller ID and they can place a call to any person. And as like you, they can target, they can speak to them or they can chat with them so that they can do. So for instance, consider a scenario, you are getting a call from unknown number and if they are asking you the OTP, you won't give the OTP of your bank account. Consider a scenario, you are getting a call from the mobile number as like your verified bank mobile number or verified bank toll-free number, you are receiving a call. And they are mentioning your account number and your account details, and even they are informing you, we are a genuine person and we are calling from bank, and you can verify the number in your debit card or credit card, a back of your debit card or the credit card, or from official bank website you can verify. So likewise, if they mention, probably a common public we used to verify in the debit card or credit card, and probably they can use the same number for the VoIP call. And what we do, so whatever the content they require, we'll give all the detail. But we don't know that is actually a VoIP call until we lost our amount. So this is actually a scenario which is happening right now. It may happen in future. So, but as a forensic, the persons, or if you are doing a research, you have to understand what is actually a VoIP and how to investigate. So for VoIP, they use a CDR analysis. So here, consider a scenario A and B. That is actually a person A and B. Consider A is a person with the A number. Some person, if they are misusing the number A, and if they call to B party, so that is actually a crime. The B party can complain. So consider I'm using the coordinator number or any of your number, and I'm placing a call to any person. And if I speak something illegally, so what they used to do, they used to raise a complaint with the number which I have used. So not with my number, because they don't know my number. So whatever the number I have used in my dialer, and what is the number I have used to place a call, that number will be the complaint number. So for that, what first they'll do, they used to do CDR, that is actually a call data record. And in this call data record, consider A party number. A is the genuine person, but as like A number, we have called to B. That is actually a complaint person. So they'll take a CDR for both A and B. So A is a person, just I'll put number NO. So this number they have misused. So in this CDR, they'll take A and B. In B CDR, they used to get an incoming call, from A. But B, there is no outgoing, because outgoing call, because they didn't call, like, incoming call from A, they don't have the outgoing call, because A is a person, simply the number of A, the hacker or the criminal, they have used the number of A. So from the A number, if they take a CDR, there is no outgoing call from the A. And then what they have to investigate, A, in the incoming call of A, they used to verify whether they have a SIM number. In this case, no SIM number. They don't find SIM number. And then they used to investigate with internet call. So they'll just get a details whether that is actually internet call. And then they'll confirm that is actually a VoIP. So VoIP is a voice over IP protocol. And they'll get IP address. So first, from A number, they'll take a CDR and they'll verify whether there is a SIM number. Whereas that is actually a call which is placed through internet. They don't have a SIM number. Whereas they have the list called internet call. And then they'll confirm that is actually a VoIP call, and they'll get a details of IP address. And with the IP address, they'll take a details called ticket grant. So ticket grant is a switching station. Consider a scenario, if I need to call to any person which is either inside India or out of India, abroad. So if I'm placing a call, there is a switching station. They used to manage all the session ID and the log, and they'll switch the call from one network to another network. That is actually a ticket grant. So they call it as ticket grant. From ticket grant, we can able to get all the call all call logs, call session log, session logs. So from here, we can able to find whether which application they have used, app plus IP. So that is actually a public IP or a private IP. So which application they have used and which IP. And then there are some process, and finally they'll take from the IP, they'll take a CAF. That is actually a customer application form, and we can fix the accused. So this is how the VoIP investigation works. So starts from the CDR, they'll find whether they have a SIM number, and if they don't find SIM number, they can confirm whether that is actually an internet call, and they'll confirm VoIP. And from the VoIP, they'll request for IP address. And from the IP address, they'll verify the ticket grant. The ticket grant is a switching station. They used to manage all the call, the event log. And from that log, they'll take which application they have used to initiate the call with the IP address. Or in that application, if they do some payment, or if they have used in mobile phone, they'll find MAC ID. There are some process. And finally, they'll collect the CAF number. That is actually a customer application form. From this customer application form, they can able to find, so this is a person, they did. And then they'll start the one-to-one investigation. This is actually a process of VoIP call. So VoIP. So next. So this is actually a VoIP investigation, VoIP. Next, I'll proceed with web. So for a website, there are different tools we use for investigation. One among the tool is a burp suit and OWASP ZAP for finding whether there is a pre-vulnerability in website. Because if there is a vulnerability, only then if there is a vulnerability, the person can able to intrude into any website or a network. So we use a tool named burp suit or OWASP ZAP to find some vulnerability, and we'll find some weblog. And currently, there are some, we work with IoT device to find some investigation, like most of the IoT device, they are creating, they are getting an IoT device for low cost, and they are not considering their privacy. So consider a scenario, you are getting a router or a webcam for too least payment. And I can assure, like there won't be a testing part for that router and the camera. Any person outside your network, they can able to access if there is a security lag in your router or the webcam. And this scenario happens in most of the situation here. And consider you are having a home automation, and you are having a camera in your home or your office. If they don't have a proper security method, the person can able to hack that particular camera, and they can view and they can upload those videos in somewhere, some place. And there are possibility we can able to do the digital forensic for IoT device and even for network. So network, most of the time, like probably you people are aware of ransom. So we used to investigate through the log how the ransom may affect any system, and we do the reverse engineering process and we'll give a report. So this is a vulnerability which is there in network mission, and probably by this way they have, yeah, yes ma'am.
You have 5 more minutes, Dr. Dinesh.
Yeah, sure ma'am, sure ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And this is an attack which is happening right now. And I'll just quickly give you the overview. What are the tools which is available for cyber forensic? If you need, you can take a screenshot of this. Along with this, there are some more tools. I'll just type the tool name. So these are the tool which will be useful for you if you are using cyber forensic. And Ncase is one of the best tool. And one more tool is Celebrity. There is one more tool for cyber forensic. And Autopsy, and for investigating about a person, you can use a tool named Maltigo. That is one of the best tool you can use for the investigation. Actually, these tools you can get, I'll send you the mind map to the coordinators. They'll be sharing to you. And these are the tools which will be available for both professional and also for a community edition. And if you need, you can purchase the tool, or you can, if you are using as a beginning level, you can use these tools for a community edition, and you can register. They'll be providing you a free license for a year. And for network analysis, you can go with Nessus. That is a tool which we are using for network analysis. And for learning about cyber forensic, there are some the forums available. I'll just share this slide. And for security application, there are some open source application. You can use these application. The code will be available in Git. You can use this tool. Like one is about privacy scanner, which will be helpful to scan your mobile phone. And if there is any privacy loophole in your mobile phone, that will be identified, and you can freeze or you can uninstall the application. And one more is a privacy dashboard. That is a open source tool you can get for Android and iPhone. And the code is available in Git, and they won't collect any data. You don't need to worry. And using privacy dashboard, you can able to, they have a dashboard. In this dashboard, you can find which application is using camera permission or mic permission. If suppose if any unauthorized permission is accessed by any application, you can view and you can either freeze or uninstall. And packet capture, there is an application. If you are a cyber forensic investigator or you are doing a research, you can use packet capturing tool for mobile and system and do analyze the packet. So which packet which is transferring from your side, either for WhatsApp, if you are sending one message, just try to capture the packet and investigate or analyze the packet so that you can know how the packet transfer from one end to another. So this will take some time. And reporting portal, even for a public, these are some reporting portal for social media. I'll just send you this mind map, DMCA, mobile crime, nodal. So you just keep this keyword for social media, how to report, and financial crime, where to report, and DMs. I'll just take, ma'am, shall I take 1 more minute? I'll just show one website. So here is a website. If you are getting any fake link, there is actually a thing everyone need to know. So this is a channel where the crime happened. So that I'll just give you some, even you are in any country. So here is a website, WhatsApp fact check. Here is a website which is officially given by the WhatsApp. There are some fact checking organization. If you are receiving any message or if you are receiving any post, if you need to check the genuinity of the content, so here is a country, and right hand side they have their WhatsApp number. So you can send that particular message to that WhatsApp number. If you are in India, the right hand side there is a India, or if you are in other country, so you just check your country name, and right hand side you can find the WhatsApp number. You can share that particular post to that WhatsApp number, and they'll take some time. This is actually from the WhatsApp official website, and you can they have an official number even. You can open that and you can share the details to them, and they'll verify that particular message or content is genuine. And then if needed, you can share your whatever they have requested, you can share. So this you can use for your security. And one more, for if any content, if you need to remove, you can simply type Google space content removal form. So where you can able to remove the content, wherever your content is being posted in Google, simply you can type Google content removal form. Or else if it's an Instagram or Facebook, you can add a keyword followed by content removal form. So this I need to say because we are into the digital world. So our content will be posted somewhere without our permission. As you members or research scholar or a professor, probably some person may do scam with your name. So they'll promote your name and they'll do the workshop. So that time, if you need to do a content removal form, you can take this link and you can remove the content. So there are more content available, but time concern, I'll just close from here. So thank you, sir, for giving this wonderful opportunity, and thank you, ma'am, for giving this wonderful introduction about me. So thank you.
You're very welcome, Dr. Dinesh. That illustrative presentation was quite captivating. And all the resources that you shared with us would be very useful moving forward. That hacking is an issue that I think the everyday person experiences. I myself have been a victim of the email spoofing. And so I truly appreciate the presentation as it resonated with me, and I think also with the audience. Do we have any questions or comments for Dr. Dinesh, our ethical hacker?
Yeah, one question, Dinesh. Thanks a lot for the very insightful presentation and very practical presentation. Thanks again. This is Dr. Saifullah from Universiti of Hyderabad. Related to the Kali Linux, do you have any comments on the usage of it?
Sir, actually, Kali Linux, I'm a Kali Linux user. Only for a presentation, I'm using Mac. So I'm past 10 years, I'm using Kali Linux. Either you can use Kali Linux or Parrot. Actually, why we are using Kali Linux means like hackers, they are using Linux platform to hack into any system or a mobile or a network. Whereas as a security profession, if we use the same Kali Linux, we can able to do a reverse engineering very easily. So start from the scratch. If you are using Kali Linux, there are nearly 700 plus tools, inbuilt tools are available in Kali Linux, sir. So you can use Kali Linux, and you can encourage even your students to use Kali Linux as a main operating system. They can learn day by day. And for Wi-Fi analysis, you can go with Parrot. That is actually meant for Wi-Fi analysis. And for network, there is a OS named Fedora, so that you can do.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll talk to you offline.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Any other questions for Dr. Dinesh? Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Dinesh.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
And we move to our next presenter, Professor Noor. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Please go ahead and upload while I introduce you.
Right. Thank you very much.
Professor Noor is the program director for research at the School of Computer Science, Taylor's University, Malaysia. He is a graduate of the Taylor's University. He's also graduated from King Faisal University, Saudi Arabia, and ILMA University, the British University of Vietnam. He has 23 years of experience in teaching, research, and development. He is among the world's top 2% scientists for the year 2022. His specializations include cybersecurity, Internet of Things security, machine learning, wireless security, and ad hoc networks, among others. I now hand you over to Professor Noor for his presentation.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I hope I'm clearly audible.
You are, and we are seeing your presentation. If we can ask you, if you can go into, yes, full screen.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much once again. Thanks for this opportunity. And today we are discussing about the forensic, which is the key important. And before we start this session, I must congratulate Dr. Dinesh for his nice presentation, which is the demand of the time. Right. So what is the forensic? Just a moment. I just make a point or a highlighter. Yeah, it'll be good for us. So actually, what is the forensic, and what is the data breach? What is the importance of evidences? And what is the cybersecurity, and how these things are very much linked? Where we stand as a scientist, where we stand as an industrialist, where we stand as an ethical hacker, our organizations, and what is our role, how we would be able to save our businesses, our daily routine, our public sector, and the other things as well. Because we cannot deny now from this digital world. We cannot run away from this digital world. We have to be part of that one, even at this stage. And after coming few more years, so we will be able to see a parallel world, which the initially concept is started about the metaverse. So we will have a very parallel digital world, digital horizon. So in the upcoming days, we will be completely changing. We can say that we do have the two different worlds, like a physical and like a virtual world. So when we talk about the virtual world, a lot of the different challenges will be there, linked with the concerns about the cybersecurity. The fact of the matter is that we are still not ready about our real world cybersecurity issues and problems. Most of us are relaxed and happy. They think that we are in safe hands, our business processes are safe, even our individual machines are safe. But the fact is that they are not aware that probably they are already hijacked, they are already under attack, there are already a lot of the problems with their machines as well. So in these things, the forensic is the one way which is actually helping us. Like we can do the re-engineering, we can find out the footprints, we can know that what could happen or how it happened and how and from where it is happening. So forensic is a very important component for the cybersecurity. So we will be discussing about the main role. Yes, please. You are muted, Prof.
Sorry, we're not seeing your slides. We're just seeing your title slide. Is it that you're doing a lecture and you're not?
Right. I'm just trying to make a base. I didn't change the slide. No worries.
Okay, sure.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Sorry. So we need to see from all of these aspects that where we stand. So when we gather together like the team of the professionals, we are not gathering for a purpose of a discussion, but we are gathering for the possibilities of the discussion, that how the world is leading, how the future is leading us, and how we will be ready for the next era, and how much we are ready at this stage. And especially, it is very important while we are scientists and belong to the academia, we need to prepare the human resource, where we are still lacking a lot, especially in cybersecurity all over the world. So today we will be having a discussion about this. Probably it is only the outline discussion about the forensic and cybersecurity and how it can play a role, so we can be able to understand further about that. This is my profile detail in case if suppose anyone is interested later on for any discussion or any conversation or communication or collaboration, then anyone is more than welcome. So our agenda is that we will be discussing about the digital age. So forensic is now changed as a term, digital forensic as well. Cybersecurity, which are having a very close relation to each other. So then we will be discussing about how it would be and how and what could be the possible ways that we can be able to save ourselves and to anyone else. So now if suppose we go here, maybe I just try to move this screen up. Yeah. So if suppose we go there and we can find out that in this digital app where we are living still, so we are even not right in the right digital world. So the people are moving very fast to the new world where everything will be digitally. Like we are well aware that at this stage we are almost in the midst, we can call technically that we are in the transition phase. So we are moving our payments, for example, from the currency to plastic money, then plastic money to the digital. And now we know that we don't require even for any transfer, any of the card or any other thing. And we are even using the ATM machines and everything with the help of the barcodes, and we can do any sort of the shopping and anything. Nowadays, our cell phone is completely as playing a role like our own wallet. So where we are moving, so this is actually taking us to the next era, which is a completely digital. We are preparing ourselves for the society 5.0. We are preparing ourselves completely for the metaverse, which is the completely virtual world. And that's what we are targeting by 2030. So while we are moving there and we are looking from that perspective, so the risk is very high. That's the fact of matter of fact that even we are not ready is this at this moment, like what the challenges we are facing. A few of the challenges we will be discussing as well. So we can see from here that what are the risk factors that are link up with the digital transformation. So they will increase the internet speed. So what do we mean by increasing the internet speed? We all are aware at this moment that we are living in the era of the 5G, where theoretically we claim that it can go for 12 to 13 GB per second, but actually we can see that it can go from 1 GB to 3 GB, or in some cases 4 GB. But what happened, like suppose the Bell Laboratories, they tested the recently, we can say less than a year, that they tested for the medium for the wireless, the devices for the wireless that can support for 37 dB per second. And for the wire medium, they tested the cables, they can carry the data that will be 39 terabyte per second. There is no comparison like what we are living in this age. We are waiting for internet too. There is no comparison that what we are using right now. We are waiting for the metaverse world. There is no comparison where we stand now. There is no comparison. We are moving towards the next edges for everything. Either it is smart society, either it is telecommunication, either it is a wireless world, either it is industrial world, either it is medical world. We are moving towards the next generations. So these all next generation are interdependent and interlinked with each other. So they are completely depending on the technology, completely depending on the speed of the internet. So now we just imagine for a moment that in case if suppose we are living in the world where the 39 terabyte speed is there with the wired medium, and what devices we are using at this moment, how much space we do have. For example, if we're using a smartphone which has 100, 200, 300, 400 or 500 GB of the data, how much of a service they have. If suppose that is the speed, how it would be possible for existing systems that they can be able to save our data. So the data breaches will be very high. And not only that the data breaches will be there, but the hackers, they can swap the data in a very limited amount of time, even less than seconds. So what is the message here? The message here is that with the increase of the internet speed, are we ready? We are not ready. The current systems, IDS and IPS and whatever the systems we are using, the firewalls, whatever we are using, those systems will not be sufficient. At the moment, these systems are identifying the issues and the problems and the attacks, then they are notifying to the administrator. Do you think that we will have a time that we can receive a notification and we would be able to save the data? No, not at all. So it means that we are lacking from that particular part. What I mean by lacking from that particular part, that means human resource. So as an academia, as a researcher, we do have a responsibility to think and do the research in that perspective side, that how we would be able to address these issues. These current systems will be completely, what we can say, obsolete, like same way the antiviruses or AV system is now almost obsolete. So this is the exponential means increasing penetration of the smart devices will be there. That will be a challenge. So the forensic and the cybersecurity, as we discussed, that they are very much linked up with together with each other. But the forensic is always there once anything is happened. So we need to not put a lot of a burden on the forensic side as well. We need to control the things before that. So growing customer expectations and changing demographics as well. So we know that there is a one term, it's known as a business trust. So in case if suppose with the increase of the one side, if we are moving with a very fast speed or with a very fast growth of the technology, if we're losing the faith and the trust of the customer from the other side, then probably it can generate or it can raise another challenge for the people, which can be means a huge resistance to adopt the new technologies. So this is how these things are very much challenging, and these challenges are waiting for us very soon. So in this age of the digital means transformation, we know that at this stage we are moving towards there. Say, for example, we are looking for Industry 4.0. We all are aware that Industry 4.0 is not completely implemented all over the world at the 100% scale. But already the Industry 5.0 is started. So how the technology is moving very fast. So either we need to think about that we are ready for that, means from that perspective, like what we can say that the coin always has two sides. So are we ready for the second side or not? We're looking for the autonomous robots. We are looking for the big data. We are looking for the simulations and so many things. But either we are ready for that or not. A lot of the security issues are there, and a lot of the cybersecurity issues are there. So those issues will be leading means a burden to the forensic as well. So we need the very different ways and very different mechanisms for the forensic as well. So what I mean that it's not only a digital transformation in the technology. We need really a transformation in all of our current methods that we are using. Those which are means the method we are using for the cybersecurity, those current systems will not work. We may look for cognitive-based approach. They can take the decision right at the time and they can repel the attack at the same time. We may not be enough that like what solutions we are looking at, what support we do have from the forensic at this stage, maybe that will not work for us when we will be moving very fast in this particular direction. So here I may just put one example that, like, suppose one of my PhD students we are working for, that in case if suppose anything is happening, like what I'm trying to explain here, that we do have forensic limitation at this stage even. So we are working for the one of the issue in case if suppose any incident is happening inside or indoor, say for example, the person who is living alone and someone means having an incident for any of the attack or for any of the like suppose the murder or something where the target is no more there. And there is no CCTV cameras and there is nothing, there is no evidence. We don't have any clue how to reach. So then it comes our forensic. Okay, so this is not the digital forensic. We are talking about referring about the forensic. So we can see from the forensic, this is an important point to understand, means the huge difference that how we are. It means difference from moving from forensic to digital forensic. And again, we can need the next level of the forensic as well. So in that current scenario, what the current practices we are doing, that we do have the different forensic techniques, but what they tell us, they can only tell us the incident happened at what time, how the person was actually killed, what was the size of the bullet, what was the distance of the bullet, what was the time timing for the this incident happened, and how and what are the reasons that these things happen. But these things are only the clues. They don't give us anything clear, they don't give us any clear reading that can solve our problem. So what we are working for, we are working with the help of the GA, the generative algorithm using the AI, that we can collect this information, and based on the other parameters as well, we are coming up with a concept, reconstructive or regenerative the crime scenes. So that can generate a video which can be helping to the legal system, and they can work for them that how this happened and who was the actually suspect and how this whole story had happened. So if we see from other perspective that, okay, this is an AI, it is bringing the new norms and the new advancement. But if we see from that this is actually an advancement where we are getting a support from the technology to advance our forensic methods and mechanisms. So this is what I'm trying to focus, that we do think about the next level, which is for the security, which is for the forensic, which is for everything. And again, when we come back, so we can see as an academia, as in scientists, that are we ready? So we can see that we are, to be very, it's a matter of fact that we are not ready. We are still involved in the existing terminologies, existing technologies, existing tools, okay? Whatever the tools are available, we are just using them. So there is a clear difference that we are still means a lot of a distance from where we are supposed to. So anyhow, going ahead, so we can see that these are the, other challenges, like suppose what we are facing for the digital transformation and for the security, cyber security, and for the forensic as well. So a lot of the data leaks are there. A lot of the different operations means they are happening. A lot of the cyber attacks are there. A lot of the things that we even don't know that how many things are, like what we mentioned already. So a lot of the mechanisms, like Dr. Dinesh was also presenting from voice over IP, from the data side leakage, and also from the web resources, also from the smart devices, and also from the IoT. But we see from each and every aspect that is very important. A lot of the challenges are there. And again, we need an improvement, the next level of the improvement for the forensic as well. Like same way, like what we are, and maybe I can refer here for the one of the white paper that was claiming that by the next few years, by 2030, the current infrastructure of our roads that will be used by only heavy transportation for the logistic purposes. All of the traveling or the personal traveling that will be in the air. So we need to start thinking about the traffic management or traffic system in the air taxis and everything. So this is where the technology is taking us. So when we think about that, then again, we have to start thinking from the one perspective. But that is again a huge challenge from the privacy perspective as well. You're sitting in your home, and if suppose someone is, looking, monitoring from the outside, or making a video from outside, even at your home. So what it means that the current infrastructure, our current regulations, our current rules, they will not be able to support us after 5 or 10 years maximum. So a lot of the challenges are waiting for us with the opportunities as well. So those challenges not only for us, but when we see from the business perspective, so again, there are a lot of the challenges for the businesses as well. We're looking from a one perspective that we are going for geopolitical. We are living in a world which is a village. We are thinking about the smart society where each and every individual person will have a power that they can do anything. We are looking from a perspective from the Industrial Revolution 5.0. Okay, everything is powerful. Everything is very good. Everything is beautiful, looks beautiful. But where we stand, what are the challenges from the other side, especially from cybersecurity perspective? And do we think that all of the mechanism or methods that what we have right now, are they enough for the forensic? They can support us that really we can be able to reach to the footprints, or really we can be able to reach to the suspects? I believe we are not. I believe the current existing systems for the forensic mechanisms and methods, they can be able to reach out to the suspects. That ratio is very low, even less than 50%. And that will be reducing day by day if we will not be improving day by day. So we need to be well aware about that, right? So anyhow, we need to respect about the timings as well. So we can see from here that this is actually a shifting. Okay, so when we are shifting with this, so it's a lot of the shifting from all of the perspective. It's not only from the improvement or opportunity side, but it is from the challenges as well. It is from the side of the issues as well, because these all things are interlinked with each other. So we know that where we stand, we are knowing from the web, and we can say it's a very powerful web, and we are using nowadays, it's a very powerful AI. Now, we are using the ChatGPT, and we are using a lot of the different AI tools. There are more than 100 and 1,000 of tools are available there. But we forget that these tools are not only for us, those tools are also available, and that support is also available for the hackers as well. So where we stand, are we ready? Are we thinking in a very sync way that either we are going with that side? Even at this stage, a lot of the challenge for the dark web. Most of us, even they are not aware. Most of us, they are even not knowing that how to handle to the dark web. Even our legal, systems, even our current technical systems, even our forensic systems, even our existing, all of the systems, we are still facing a lot of challenges for this one. So this is how we need to have a vision that where we stand, what we are supposed to move, where we're supposed to move. This is a very rich area. Anyhow, going ahead, so we can see that a lot of the challenges, like what we are using for the malwares, for the botnets, the botnet itself, it's a huge, the cyber box, and a lot of the different challenges are there. The viruses, the worms, the spywares, the phishing, so many things they are there. So a lot of the challenges are there. There are multi-vector challenges now. For each and every person, for individual person, for an organization, for public sectors, and for everything. So because this is very directly proportional. While we're moving, so these challenges are there. So we need to think about that, right? We do have the forensic mechanisms, right? We do have the digital forensic mechanisms. Right, but how many ways are, how many methods are, how many tools are, and what is the performance of those tools are, how much we are able to stop them. We protect ourselves. We know that Microsoft is not safe. We know that Cisco is not safe. We know is that nothing is safe. So it means what it means. It means that they are not using any of the protective systems, not using the firewalls, not using any advanced systems. They are. Still, there is a cap. That's what the message that we are still not ready for, that where we do have our current position. So we need to see. So that is the result from here. You can see that 94% of the organizations, they are having a data breach. If we just go in a deep dive, okay, we can find out a lot of the challenges. We can come up with even a very scary data. It's only a 30 minutes, so we cannot go into more detail, but we can see that how it is, and it is increasing every day. It's increasing day by day. So 94% of the organizations, one of the research that suggests that what the Android, what we are using, the App Store, more than 97% of the applications, they are compromised. So where we stand, the people have an understanding that if we are using the iOS applications, then they are safer. So you can see the research is recommending or suggesting putting the analysis that more than the 80% their apps are compromised. So now, again, if we compare from this and if we just look for the other thing, then we can see that where we stand. Again, the literature suggests that IoT device, any of the IoT device what we are using, okay, where we are claiming a lot of the smart systems and smart cities and smart technologies, because we cannot go beyond without this IoT. And we are using IoT in many different perspectives. This is Internet of Things, this is Internet of Medical of Things, this is Internet of Everything, this is Internet of Vehicles Things, means a lot of, it's industrial Internet of Things, a lot of. But the actual fact is that it requires from 1 to 3 minutes only to be hacked, to be compromised once the system is up. So again, the question comes there. Are we ready? Are we really ready? If we are ready, then why these figures are there? If we are ready, then why the world is actually in a problem? If you're ready, then we can see that how many critical attacks are there. Okay, if we are ready, then you just see that 90% of the cybersecurity attacks there means through the phishing emails. How many attacks we are able to save them? How many attacks, even if we talk about the ransomware, a lot of the ransomware attacks are there. How many attacks, how many data even we are able to save that? Okay, so a lot of the challenges are there. So 8 trillion estimated cost of the cybercrime to the global economy for the last year, only 2022. So we need to think about that, whatever the emerging technologies are coming, like AI and machine learning or whatever it is. So it is actually not a game changing from one perspective, from the one side. That is also available to the hackers as well. So this is actually a very important point to discuss, and maybe probably some other time we can discuss it in a more detail. We can cover the contents as much as possible. So we can see that the threat actors, like suppose how they are using previously what we mentioned, that the emails are the more dangerous thing. They are using the different scripts and insiders and a lot of the different ways that how they are approaching to us. So this is how this become a challenging job for us. Okay, and we may go a little faster. So we know that what is actually happening and how the hacking and other operations are being done. So data breaches it become a very norm, very common. Okay, so how we can protect them? How the current our forensic systems are actually saving us? Okay, cybercrime, it is increasing day by day. It is changing its shapes. It's coming up with so many branches. The cybercrime, it was initially there for some of the frauds to be done and to be hacking some of the data, some of the ransomware, and some of the money was involved, and some of the things they were very important, but they were not important to take the life of any people. But now cyber crimes, the people are playing with the life of the people. You know, there are a lot of the different ways that the people are blackmailing to the young age students and the professionals as well, using the cyber crimes. You know, a lot of the different ways. So this changing its form. It's become worse and worse with the day by day. So we need a lot of we have a lot of challenges for data breaches and cybercrime. As we mentioned, it is changing a lot of the different shapes, and it is going towards from expanding very speedy. So again, we need to think about that, where we stand, what mechanisms we do have, what procedures we do have. If we are still thinking that the current systems, IDPS and IPS, and our current forensic systems and these things, they are enough that we can be able to find it out, I believe we need to open our eyes. I believe that we need to improve. I believe we need to go and think beyond that, because the things are far away. So anyhow, we can see for the basic, we don't want to cover for the basic. We can just go ahead because I believe that our earlier presenters, they already mentioned about that. So maybe we can skip a few things, and then we can just put up the few things which are very important. So this is what at the moment we are putting as the digital forensic, that anything which is linked or related or connected with the internet, that comes under the digital forensic classification. Either it's a database, either it's a mobile, either it's a network, either it's a computer, whatever it is. So it goes to the for this one. What challenges we are? So at this stage we have the methods, the effective methods, that is the preventive and reactive. Reactive methods, they are still efficient, they are still in practice. What about after 10 years? The reactive methods will be required, will be important, or only we need to be depending on the preventive methods? I believe the preventive methods will have high importance, because in that era where the throughput and speed will be 39 terabytes per second, if our machine or anything is compromised, then no more time they require to swap anything. So only the preventive mechanisms or methods will be very important for us to handle to face the challenges. So we can again see that how many data breaches are there. They are in millions of the data breaches. A lot of the losses for the businesses as well. A lot of the ransomware attacks are there. A lot of the, like what we said, that the very popular mobile apps what we are using, they are compromised. Like what we were discussing, if we just use the OWASP and there are the different tools, we just find it out, we can find out that how much percentage of the web what we are using, they are already compromised. Though they have the different level of the compromise, if we just put a simple scan, we can find out that where we stand actually. So this is the huge challenge where we are at this moment. A lot of the financial losses we are facing, a lot of the legal issues we are facing because of this data. So this is very important for us. And then we can see again, it is rising in all the way. Like suppose we can focus on the 2022. So it's not coming down. If we compare from the previous one, and it is going very faster, and it will be even 3 to 4 times or 5 times more faster, because it is directly linked with the throughput. It's directly linked with the internet speed. So you can see, if suppose the past years from 2005 to 2010 or 2012, it was a bit slower. But the moment when we have increased the throughput, so automatically it started jumping and it is going. So this is how these are the challenges, but they are waiting for us. So if we just look for the last decade, if we just look for 1 year, if we just look for any of the month, you can find out a lot of the attacks, a lot of the data breaches are there. Again, as mentioned, the time is limited. Otherwise, we can we can go to visit the website and we can find out a lot of the different ways they can show us the live attacks at this moment. Then what is the statistics for the live attack? And we will be amazed. We will be when we know that we will be realizing that these attacks are in thousands per second, not even for the per minute or not for the per week or per day. So this is a regular practice what it is happening. So now we come back again towards our forensic, that we know that in the forensic, we do investigation, we do have the accusation of the evidences, and we need to analyze, and based on the results, we can come up with the results that either this happened or not, either this had happened, like what I gave you the example, that if suppose some murder is happening and we are going for the forensic, we are collecting the DNA and whatever it is, okay, so we can see that it is fine. But I can see that this is not fine, no anymore, because now the crime rate, now the way of crime, now the methods of crime are changing. They are very fast, they are very smart, they're changing. So our old tools, our old ways, they cannot protect us. They cannot help us a lot. And that is the reason, if we just have a study, we can see the legal system that is under pressure. In all over the world, we can find out the millions of the cases they are in pending. The cases are in the process for a longer time because they are still using the existing methods. They are not enough, they are not sufficient. So again, coming back, that these all are the actually points, are the goals. We need to be aware about that. We need to think about that. We need to make ourselves ready. So going faster, so we can have the different, like suppose, ways at how we can be looking while we are looking for the forensic approach. We need to see for the multiple devices. We need to see for the cross drive analysis as well. Now this is the forms are keep changing. So we cannot now look only from the one perspective. Okay, so we need to check about the volatile data for RAM and cache. But again, I come back and repeat that these all things, even recovering of files and fragmenting of files and everything, this is very old methods. If we are still depending or denying on that, that probably means it can give us a hint, it can support us to reach to some level, but probably we may not be able to reach to the suspect. Maybe we can know that this thing happened or not. So I can put one other study, what it was, one of the person who was working in one of the finance institute, that was not now, almost 1 year before. So he was traveling and he just put his mobile charger, on a charging device with the airport. Normally we can notice that there are a lot of the charging devices are there. So while he was in the flight and when he reached to the station, when he switched on his cell phone and he received a lot of messages, so a lot of money was gone from his account. So that is the concept what we know as the USB hijacking. So anyhow, a lot of the things that these things are becoming a challenge for us. So where we can use digital forensic now in bankruptcy, okay, when any of the inappropriate use in the digital world, and any of the for the government compliances, for the corporate world, for any of the frauds, what they are happening. There are so many different ways that how the frauds are happening, for the trades, for the businesses, and for the IPs, intellectual properties. So you see, this is becoming wider and wider and wider, because the reason is that we are depending, we are jumping, we are adopting the technology at a very high rate. And wherever we are adopting this one, so this is actually becoming a challenge for us. So we need to be,
Prof,
yes.
Prof, I think we have to close within 2 minutes.
Right,
I'm
right.
getting
Okay.
a signal, yes.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I will try to cover in 2 minutes. So anyhow, the conclusion is that how we are looking for. So we can see that we need to be ready. Our organizations should be ready. Our human resource should be ready. This is the very strong message. Our human resource as an academia, as a researcher, we need to introduce the things, and we need to ready our workforce for future to save. And we do have the different goals, like suppose for these things, that how we can be able to save our businesses, save our daily lives, save our personal life, and save our public properties and everything. So we need to have a very strong things for that one. these are the steps that we need to think about that while we are going for the forensic studies. So we need to be adopting the action plans. So these are the different action plans that how these things can be happen, that the investigations can be done that may not be hindering our regular practices as well. So anyhow, do as we have the 2 minutes, so maybe I can show you later. Maybe we can share the slide so you can go through with this one. So we do have the different devices and mechanisms that what we need to collect, and we need to be ready for the forensic when we are going for forensic. This is actually when we do have access for the hardware basis. So these are the devices that we need to be ready, and how we are supposed to collect all of the evidences, and then we need to seize them, and then we need to apply the different analysis, and finally we can come up with some of the solutions with this one. So there are the different tools, but we don't want to go into detail. Dr. Dinesh already mentioned a very intensive detail about that, so we just skip this part. And we can see from the other aspect, which is for the social media, that is becoming a very huge challenge for us. So we need the forensic ways for that as well, the different methods. Only for the email, a lot of the challenges are there. And again, these are the few of the tools they can help us for the forensic practices, for the cyber practices, for the email. And in the same way, we can see for the mobile or the gadgets that what we are using, and then we can find out the evidences and from the mobile devices and the different analysis ways and different data what we can be able to use for forensic, like their applications, text messages, phone books, mobile, and a lot of other things. So thank you very much. And then these are the references. Thank you very much, Prof. Debra, and thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you. Any question? I'm more than welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Noor. You really sensitized us to the risk factors and opened our eyes, as you put it, to what we're up against in this digital transformation. And your explanations gave us hope, and it heightened our awareness of the dangers that we are potentially going to face and are facing as we move more and more into the digital world. The floor is now open for 1 or 2 questions briefly for Prof. Noor. Any questions? Comments?
Yeah, thanks a lot for the wonderful presentation, Professor Noor.
Thank you.
I think you will give the presentation slides to the audience also.
Yeah, sure. We'll share later.
Yeah, one question related to the incognito mode you have shown. Is there any relation between this incognito mode and the deep web or dark web?
Thank you very much. The incognito mode is actually only providing us the comparative to the regular mode, the high level of privacy, high level of security. It handles the carefully about the what we can call the cookies and the other things. But it doesn't mean that we are safer, or it is providing us any of the safety from the dark mode or even anything else. So all of the browsers, they are very much prone to the different attacks, and there are a lot of the different methods and mechanisms. Like what I mentioned, if suppose we just scan. So normally when we are doing with the research with the students, and when we give them the task that you can go for the different of the websites, even for the financial websites. So when they are coming back with that, so they say that, sir, we don't have a trust. We don't want to use the websites because they are not safe. So the moment we are not knowing, so we are considering it safe. So no, it is only a comparatively focusing more towards the privacy and cookies and like these things, but we cannot mismark it as the safer from the dark web or anything. Thank you, Dr. Saib.
Thank you, sir. So is there any simulator, or how do we actually get insight of the dark web? What happens there? Is there any way of knowing?
Yeah, this is what our presentation focus is. And that what are the actual challenges. That's what we mentioned, that we are actually not able at the moment to even protect ourselves from the current things. Even dark web is far away. A lot of the things, a lot of the agencies, law agencies, and everyone is knowing that how and what the data is being, sold it out at the dark web. But there is no one is, going there. There's no any existing forensic method or any tool or any approach is there, even from any of the well-known company, which can, say that we do have, even we can find out that who is and what is they are doing and how they are selling the data. So this is the challenge. So what we were focusing from our today's presentation, that we need a human resource. We need the skills. The current methods or tools, they are not enough. This is the reason that we just categorize them that they are in the dark web. We put that we cannot have any much control. Or even I can say we don't have a control on that. To be very honest, that could be the right statement.
Thank you, sir.
Most welcome.
Thank you, Prof. Nice.
Most welcome. Most welcome.
Okay. Any other questions or comments before we close?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dr. Krishnan.
No, things were nice, and we'll go for closing the session.
Okay. We do apologize that Dr. Comfort is unable to present at this time. And we extend our sincere thanks to our esteemed presenters, Dr. Dinesh, Dr. Hadhrami, Dr. Saif, Dr. Pankaj, and Prof. Noor, for sharing your research, your expertise, your experiences on digital forensics. You have certainly helped us to get a better understanding of the risks we face and exposure to some of the tools and resources we can use to mitigate those risks. And it's certainly something uppermost in our minds now. We are not going to take it for granted that our data will be safe and all is well. So we do express our gratitude for the time you spent with us this morning. Thank you for the participation of those who have attended. We will be issuing a participatory certificate to you, so ensure that you fill in the attendance link. We have posted that several times. And thank you to Dr. Krishnan for doing all the background and coordinating work for making this World Resources webinar possible.
My sincere thanks to you, Dr. Deborah.
You're most welcome. It was my pleasure. So we say goodbye and do enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Right. Thank you all. Thank you all. We are closing the session. Thank you, Dr. Deborah.
You're welcome.